Hello everyone, it's me. Today I will recap the movie Fantastic Beasts Part 3, The Secrets of Dumbledore. Dumbledore was walking on the street when he was attacked by a young man. This guy seemed to be quite a force to be reckoned with. He summoned all the sand and rocks around him to attack Dumbledore, but he couldn't fool him. In an instant, the young man was knocked out of his body by Dumbledore. But strangely, his soul was unusually dark. Why was there a phoenix protecting him? Strangely, only Dumbledore's bloodline possessed a phoenix. So who is this boy that has Dumbledore blood running through his veins? Not only that, this part also reveals Grindelwald's plot to monopolize the world. So what will Dumbledore and his team do to stop him? Please watch today's recap. A year after Grindelwald's crimes, Newt received Dumbledore's mission to find the unicorn. Newt discovered a mother unicorn giving birth in the forest. After a while of struggling, Newt helped the mother unicorn give birth successfully. The little unicorn was born. But Grindelwald's followers were waiting. They tore through Newt's barrier and used their wands to attack and kill the mother unicorn. Knowing that he could not fight them, Newt ran away. He ran madly into the forest. It was dark, so he tripped and fell into the abyss. The poor little unicorn also fell into the water. Immediately after, the dark wizards chased and captured the unicorn and took it away. After waking up, Newt was extremely confused. He dragged his bruised body to the mother unicorn. At this moment, a little unicorn approached Newt. It turned out that this time, the unicorn had given birth to twins, which was extremely rare for this ancient creature. So the witches did not suspect anything and left. Seeing her child safe in the arms of good people, the mother unicorn shed tears of happiness, and then the mother unicorn also passed away. Just like that, the two unicorn brothers were separated. The platypus called out a divine beast inside the suitcase. But what could this little bird do? Unexpectedly, it only needed to take a few breaths for its body to enlarge 1,000 times. Then, it used its tail to tightly hold Newt and the suitcase, then transformed into a dragon and carried Newt home. On the other side, Dumbledore accidentally met Grindelwald, and they talked about their wild love in the past. They swore to go together until the end of the road, but now Grindelwald wanted to rule the world no matter what. Dumbledore had to sacrifice his love to find every way to stop him. After the negotiation failed, Grindelwald returned to the mountain base to hide, because at this time, he was wanted by the entire Wizarding Council. At this moment, Grindelwald's followers brought the unicorn back to him. Grindelwald directly hugged the unicorn without hesitation, and used a knife to cut its throat. The unicorn's blood flowed to the ground, and his future appeared in the pool of blood. From now on, he had the power to know the future. But he did not know that there was still a unicorn in the world. At this time, the two new brothers were on their way to the Magic Academy. They met Dumbledore here. Dumbledore now knew all of Grindelwald's intentions, but he could not do anything to him, because Dumbledore had previously sworn to become a couple with him. So the two of them had a bond called a blood oath. If Dumbledore had any intention of breaking the oath, the bond would tighten until his blood vessels exploded. Therefore, the plan to stop Grindelwald could only be carried out by the two new brothers. Newt asked for help from Lally, who was sitting next to a bakery. When the thugs saw her, they teased her. Just then, the fat Jacob saw her and rushed out with a pan to save her. Seeing this, they immediately surrounded him. Suddenly, Lally came over and used her wand to knock down one of them. It turned out that this was just a play that Lally had set up. After that, Lally asked Jacob to go to the magical world with her, because this time only he could help them. Jacob didn't hesitate anymore and agreed. She used magic to give him a new suit, then immediately threw the book in her hand. It turns out that the book is a portkey that allows the two to easily teleport to the magical world. The destination this time was a train, and they met Newt again. The two friends happily hugged each other. Then Lally also arrived at the meeting place in time. Newt told everyone about the plan to stop Grindelwald. But how could they defeat someone who knew the future? At this moment, someone suggested to distract Grindelwald by overlapping many plans at the same time, making him unable to predict. Dumbledore also said Jacob a wand, which could hide his identity when necessary. Jacob was happy to receive this precious gift. Newt's brother, Theseus, received his Minister of Light tie, then handed over his suitcase to his assistant Buntai for easy action. After that, they went through the wall to the magic world in Berlin, Germany. The International Confederation of Wizards is gathering here. Newt went to see the head of the Department of Magic after relaying Dumbledore's message that, do the right thing, not to the easy thing. Newt suggested that they join forces to fight the dark forces, but this person was a spy for Grindelwald. Immediately after, this person announced that the villain would be pardoned. This meant that all his crimes were cleared. Theseus saw Vinda again. Because he was too absorbed in admiring Vinda's beauty, and not guarded, he was ambushed from behind by the villain. Then, Grindelwald's henchmen took Theseus away. Newt was helpless, unable to fight off the majority of them. Unable to act rashly, he could only escape. Grindelwald's henchmen fired fireworks to celebrate their Grindelwald acquittal. At the same time, Dumbledore learned that Grindelwald had been cleared of all charges, forcing him to immediately set out there. Not long after, he found Newt's group and heard the story. News said that Newt's brother had been captured and taken to Erkstag, a secret prison of the Ministry of Magic. Dumbledore then gave him some papers that could help him save his brother. Before leaving, Newt asked if his suitcase was okay. Dumbledore said it was okay, and he had a plan for it. After that, Wintyke took the suitcase to his shop to fake 6 other identical suitcases. At the villain's castle, Kama followed Dumbledore's orders to join Grindelwald. He thought that Kama had truly painful past memories, so he helped Kama erase all of them. He used his wand, gently tore off a piece of memory, and lured Kama to his side against Dumbledore. At this time, Dumbledore was carrying out his next plans. Suddenly he felt a lurking danger. It turned out to be Credence, a henchman of Grindelwald. He was a person with the same bloodline as Dumbledore. Dumbledore secretly used his power, shooting a stream of memories at the young Credence's forehead. Credence began to ask Dumbledore if he knew how lonely Credence was. Suddenly the phoenix of fire flew down from above. The street cracked into many small pieces. At this time, Credence rushed to attack Dumbledore. Although he was very strong, he still lacked experience. Credence rushed to attack a second time. This time he summoned all the rubble from the surrounding buildings, turning the houses into weapons that twisted straight at Dumbledore. However, Dumbledore just waved his hand, and everything fell down. Credence continued to push Dumbledore back. Dumbledore retreated to a nearby bus. Credence waved his wand again, wanting to finish Dumbledore off. The bus turned into ashes, but Dumbledore disappeared with it. It turned out that he had been standing behind Credence since when. Then, Dumbledore used a spell to put Credence into an illusion he created. Here, no matter what Credence did, he could not harm Dumbledore. Credence pulled out his wand to fight again, but was controlled by Dumbledore. He was someone who had always been hurt since childhood, and was brainwashed by Grindelwald, so he thought that the Dumbledore family had abandoned him. When Dumbledore told him that, it was Grindelwald's lie. Seeing his nephew's soul, Dumbledore's eyes were filled with sorrow, because it was a lonely and suffering soul. The phoenix flew to chase away the evil thoughts that haunted Credence's soul. Dumbledore came to his nephew's side and advised him. He apologized for the pain Credence had gone through. The soul was haunted by hatred, like a waterfall rushing into Credence's body. Dumbledore reassured him and promised to save his nephew from evil. Then he brought Credence back to reality. From that day on, Credence's heart had more hope. Although he did not complete the mission, his lonely heart was warmed. Based on Dumbledore's suggestion, Newt went to the mysterious Erkstag prison. Newt went inside to meet the warden. The warden knew his intentions. First, he collected all the things on him, then threw his wand and the 2 magical animals on him into the locker. Then he picked up a worm, shook it a few times, and it turned into a firefly. The firefly would light the way for Newt to enter, but it could only light up for a short time. As soon as he entered, Newt encountered a swarm of scorpions. Luckily, thanks to many years of studying magical creatures, Newt also learned a dance to integrate with the scorpion community. Below was a deep abyss. Newt's brother was now hanging upside down. What was even more terrifying was that inside the prison, not only were people locked up, but also a giant, ferocious monster. Newt tried to hold his breath, standing still in place. Suddenly, a nearby man screamed. The monster immediately followed the sound. After a miserable cry, a corpse flew up from the bottom of the pit. The scorpion smelled the food and ran to eat. Taking the opportunity, Newt immediately rescued Theseus. On the way back, scorpions were everywhere. Newt immediately called his 2 beasts to bring their wands. After that, the 2 brothers learned how to walk like scorpions. They slowly walked on the narrow path. But not long after, someone in the prison shouted loudly. The giant scorpion quickly rushed to deal with him. Another skeleton was thrown down. The 2 new brothers quickly moved out before the lights went out. The 2 magical animals divided their tasks. The tree was in charge of moving the wand. The platypus was handling the jailer. The warden just fainted. The wand also popped out. The tree thought the platypus jumped up to save him. Who would have thought that it saw the money and forget friendship? The new brothers had already reached the door, but Theseus accidentally stepped on a scorpion, and the lamp in their hands also went out. Very quickly, the giant scorpion smelled it and attacked them. The passage was quickly filled with lava. The entire prison was in chaos. As long as they got hit by lava, it would be over. The giant scorpion madly attacked the two brothers, but because of its oversized body, it blocked the exit. The two new brothers were also lucky to escape. Before they could rejoice, Theseus was pulled down the deep hole by the scorpion. At the crucial moment, the tree brought the wand. Newt quickly cast a spell, so the two brothers escaped. If it weren't for the cravat portkey, they would have been destroyed. As for the warden, the lights went out. It was a life and death affair. After returning to the academy, the two new brothers also heard some bad news. Grindelwald had been chosen to run for the leadership of the magical world. If that happened, it would be the end of humanity. He would fulfill his dream of world domination. To defeat him, also had to be chosen by the unicorn, and the unicorn was a legendary creature that could see through people's hearts. The unicorn would bow down to a truly good person, so the magical world relied on the unicorn to choose its leader. But for someone with dark magic like Grindelwald, he had dozens of ways to make the unicorn submit to him. After killing the unicorn, he cast a spell to revive it, then cast a spell on the unicorn. In an instant, the unicorn was revived. Now, the unicorn only saw him as a good person, and it only obeyed his orders. Suddenly, he saw another unicorn in the world, which made him furious. Grindelwald thought that Credence had betrayed him, but he did not kill him, but gave Credence one last chance to find the other unicorn. A few days later, Grindelwald will participate in the election at a temple in Bhutan. Dumbledore and his group are very worried about this. They have to act quickly. At this time, Bente has brought back the fake suitcases. They do not know which suitcase contains the unicorn. This is also one of Dumbledore's secrets. They immediately divide the tasks, then each person a suitcase, through a portkey which is a giant bell. They start the trip to do the diversionary mission. The day of the election for the leader of the Wizard Council has also arrived. It is held on the top of the highest mountain in the world. Vinda is waiting to block Dumbledore's way. Dumbledore's team also arrived soon after. After they appeared, Grindelwald's juniors immediately noticed. A battle between the two sides is inevitable. The two sides fought fiercely. Although the numbers of the two sides are different, Grindelwald's army are still amateurs, so Lally and Theseus took the opportunity to counterattack, beating them to a pulp. Despite their best efforts, but the two of them were still captured. But when they checked the suitcase, there was no unicorn inside. Taking advantage of this moment, they counterattacked, and Grindelwald's army was routed. On this side, Newt had already gone below the temple. A woman appeared, and she gradually approached with the intention of snatching the suitcase from Newt's hand. During the struggle, Newt was knocked unconscious by someone, and the suitcase containing the talisman was also taken away. Kama led a group of Grindelwald's henchmen to surround Lally and Theseus, but Kama suddenly swung his wand and destroyed them all. It turned out that Kama had been a spy planted by Dumbledore all along. At this time, the temple also began to choose a leader, and the king of Bhutan brought the unicorn for it to choose its leader. The little unicorn could see through their souls, so the new leader would be extremely trustworthy. But in fact, the unicorn was controlled by Grindelwald. He had planned it for a long time, so that the unicorn could choose him as its leader. The little unicorn obediently knelt at his feet. The Wizard Alliance also started to set off fireworks to celebrate. They announced that Grindelwald would be the supreme leader of the wizarding world. Newt also realized that his suitcase was fake. He was disappointed to know that he could not stop the bad guy. Vinda also escorted Jacob and his girlfriend, the Witch Queenie. Grindelwald thought that Muggles had tainted the noble wizard bloodline, so he declared war on the human world and cast a torture spell on Jacob. Santos saw this and lifted the spell on Jacob. At this moment, the fire phoenix appeared in the sky. Credence returned. He exposed Grindelwald's true face. Credence said that Grindelwald was the one who killed and cast a spell on the unicorn to create this drama. At this time, Newt also appeared and told everyone that there were two unicorns in the world. But Grindelwald said that Newt had no evidence. He said that no one would believe Newt. As soon as he finished speaking, Bente stepped forward. She handed the suitcase containing the unicorn to Newt. The majestic baby unicorn appeared in front of everyone, because unicorns really do appear, so Grindelwald's magic disappeared. His unicorn immediately changed, black and smelly. The Alliance decided to vote for a new supreme leader. The unicorn immediately understood that Grindelwald was a bad person, so it turned around and went to Dumbledore. When it saw him, it bowed its head and knelt down, but Dumbledore did not want to be the supreme leader, so he said that the unicorn should choose someone better him itself. So it slowly walked towards a candidate, Santos, and began to kneel down to greet this woman. At this time, the old man Grindelwald was furious. He intended to kill Credence. But unexpectedly, the Dumbledore brothers had already saved the last drop of blood. At this moment, the curse string on Dumbledore's hand broke. It turned out that to destroy the curse, he and Grindelwald had to confront each other directly. After that, the two of them also went to a private space. At this time, there was only a battle between the two of them. Neither of them would give in. Even though they once had the same goal, now they had gone their separate ways. One protected justice and peace, the other was evil, and wanted others to submit to him. Therefore, in the end, the two of them fight clear. After a draw, the two masters no longer wanted to fight each other. The blood curse was broken, just like Grindelwald loved. Dumbledore left and said that no one would love Grindelwald anymore. But at this moment, facing Grindelwald was an entire council of wizards. Grindelwald used the circle to protect himself, saying that he was never their enemy and would never be. Finally, Grindelwald had to leave. Credence and his father met again after many years apart. Newt also had a long journey with a little unicorn. Dumbledore thanked Jacob and gave him a fake wand as a souvenir. At the end of the movie, Jacob also held a wedding with the beautiful Queenie, opening a new history when muggles were allowed to marry wizards. And Newt also met his lover again after many days of missing him. The movie ended here. The war between the dark forces and the peacekeepers ended. In it, Dumbledore and Newt, along with their teammates, fought to prevent Grindelwald from carrying out his plot to dominate the wizarding world. At the same time, they discovered deep secrets about friendship, family affection, loyalty, and sacrifice. Thank you very much for your support so that the channel can develop like today. If you find it interesting, please give me a like and a comment about your feelings about this movie. Especially, please subscribe to the channel to follow my movie recap. See you again, dear friends.